Hello and welcome. In this video, let's understand what are DDL triggers in SQL Server. So, what is a DDL trigger? A DDL trigger is a trigger that executes automatically when a DDL operation happens. DDL operation means whenever you will create, alter, or perform drop operation. These are called as DDL operations. So whenever any of these operation happens, it will trigger something, and that trigger is called as DDL trigger. Earlier we were discussing DML triggers. So whenever insert, update, or delete was happening at that time, those triggers were getting executed. But the DDL triggers will get executed whenever create, alter, or drop events happen. Okay. So what are DDL commands? So we know we have create, alter, drop, truncate, and rename commands. So these commands are known as DDL commands. And why we should use DDL triggers? They prevent unauthorized schema change. Let's say someone is trying to modify the table. In that case, we can fire a DDL trigger and avoid that. We will see why we should use DDL triggers, but let's start with some example and then we will see why these are actually needed. So let's take a look at this example. So here we are creating a DDL trigger by using the create trigger statement. I'm specifying the trigger name. Then instead of giving the table name, what we are saying on database. So I'm not specifying any table name here, and then I'm specifying for this is a keyword, and then I'm specifying the operation, the DDL operation on which I want to trigger this piece of code. Okay, and after that we have our as usual as begin and end, and between that we have our logic that we want to execute on as part of this trigger. So let's copy this and let's go to our SSMS, and here let's create this. Okay, so the trigger has been created, and if I try to create any table here, let's say create table test, and let's say this has only one column, ID integer. When I try to create this table, I will get the error new table was created. Actually, this is not an error. We are printing this message. A table has been created. Why we got this message? Because that was part of our this trigger, right? That's why we are getting this message. Okay, so we have multiple events. We can have create table, alter table, or drop table, right? And we can print the same message like table was created or changed. Let's take a look at this example also. The trigger name I'm specifying here is prevent drop table. So we are preventing someone dropping a table. So let's copy this and let's create this trigger also. So what we are saying, we are raising an error saying dropping table is not allowed, right? And we are rolling back that operation. So let's create this trigger and let's try to delete this test table now. So I will say drop table test. And when I execute this, I will get the error. It will say dropping tables is not allowed. So using the DDL triggers, we can block some users to drop some critical data or critical tables from our database. Okay. And one thing to notice here, we can combine it with other events also. So we have events like create table, alter table, and drop table. So these events we can use and we can create our DDL triggers. We can create these triggers at database level, or we can create this at server level also. So when we are creating this at database level, we are specifying on database, right? But we can create it on all server also. So it will monitor all the databases which are present in our database server. One other use case could be like we can capture the event. So whenever some event has occurred, right, that event we can capture and audit it, and we can make use of event data function. So event data function will give us the data, meaning what exactly is happening. So if I let's modify this trigger here, DDL changes, and let's put this statement here. Or do one thing, let's create this as a new trigger. So I'm creating this trigger here, trigger audit DDL, and I'm creating this on create table operation, and I'm also creating this at database level. So let's create this trigger. And now let's try to create a table. So I'm creating this test one table because we already have test table. So I'm creating a test one table. So when I create this, you can see the event data is giving us some valuable information that we can see and make use while auditing this change. So we can see this create table event has occurred, and at this time this event was occurring, and this is the process ID which was trying to create this. And we also have the server name, login name, user name, right? All the details are available here, and this is the actual command that was executed that is also available. So this event data function is very useful when you are working with DDL triggers. Okay, so here are some of the differences between the DDL and DML triggers. So the DDL triggers will fire on create, alter, and drop. The DML triggers will fire on insert, update, and delete. So these will be fired when database objects are affected, and DML triggers will be fired when table data is actually affected. So whenever we will modify our data, like inserting new data, updating data, or deleting the data, that time DML triggers will fire. So we have two levels, like we can have the DDL trigger on database level or the server level, and the DML triggers we can have on table level, or we can also create on a view as well. So the common use case for DDL trigger is like when you want to do schema auditing, you want to audit whenever the structure of a table is changed, then you can make use of DDL trigger. DML triggers is basically for data auditing. You want to make sure you are auditing every change that is happening, like some new employee is getting registered, some new order is getting placed. So those kind of data events you can audit using DML triggers. So that's it for this video. In this video, we have understood what are DDL triggers in SQL Server.